this video, I'm going to talk about things that are not features of Moji. I've done lots of videos in the past covering all the things that Moji does and all of his accessories and how you interact with Moji. But I've had quite a lot of questions over time from people asking about elements of Moji, which are things that Moji doesn't do or that don't apply to Moji. So, for example, I've been asked, is there an app for Moji? And I've also been asked, does Moji connect to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth? So there isn't an app for Moji. He doesn't connect to any device. You don't need a Wi-Fi connection or Bluetooth connection or anything, because everything is contained within the dog and his accessories. So you interact with him through voice commands, through his touch sensors, and through his collar, through the cards, basically through colour, and through his accessories. But there's no app and there's no connection to Moji by any device. I actually think it's really good that you don't need to connect Moji to an outside device and you don't need to use an app with him, and that everything is contained in the dog and his accessories and his collar, because apps are notorious for going wrong, and obviously if they stop being supported, as they do eventually, they can stop working. So I think it's really good that Skyrocket decided not to go down that route, because that's how a lot of toys are made these days. I think it's great that they give Moji so much functionality without having to rely on an app. One of the things that really surprised me about Moji is that you can name him through a card, one of the cards, that you have 7 choices for his name, because with other toys like Furby Connect, the only way you name it is through an app. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. So my dog has actually forgotten his name because I reset him. I did a video recently where I showed how you can reset Moji. So he currently thinks that Moji is his name because he's just answered it there. So I'm going to change his name back to the name I gave him before, which was Bailey.
Moji. Bailey.
So now his name's Bailey. Bailey. Yay! You know your name again now. Another question I've been asked is, does Moji walk? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't walk. So I've also had people say things like, I just wish he'd walked, or I hope they bring one out that walks. But from my experience, if a toy's made to be able to walk, you can't give it much of a functionality. So this wonderful animation that Bailey's got, all this different movement in him that can make him really feel like he's playing with a tug toy, for example, I don't think you could have that same range of movement if you were going to make the mechanics in him walk. Another thing I think about the aspect of making an animatronic dog walk is that the gait is going to be unrealistic, because you cannot make something walk like an Aibo, for example, unless you're going to ramp the costs right. Oh, look at that, isn't he clever? He's managed to lift the ball. That was funny. You're doing a trick I didn't know you could do there. But as I was saying, folks, you can't sort of make an animatronic dog walk realistically unless you are going to ramp the price up. You know, my Ibo walks in a beautiful way, but my Ibo costs $3,000 new. I just don't believe it's possible to make an animatronic dog walk in a realistic way unless you're going to really ramp up the price. Another thing is, if you're going to make them walk, how are you going to stop them from bumping into walls and things? I used to have a Zoomer, and one of the frustrating things about it was that it'll just go straight into a wall and just bash itself against a wall or any other object in its path. Now, I know we've got RoboDash, which moves brilliantly and which can avoid objects and where you can have a lot of control over its movement. But RoboDash isn't really walking, he's on wheels. And the thing with that toy is, the whole point of the toy is that it moves around. The whole focus is on having control on it moving around, whether that's following you or using a remote control or even playing ball with RoboDash, which I think is absolutely brilliant. But you couldn't then take RoboDash and make it look realistic and have all the other functionality that Moji's got. I just don't see how that would be possible. So I think Skyrocket did the right thing by focusing on other aspects with Moji rather than making him walk. That's just my personal opinion. I think if animatronic dogs are made to walk, it just makes them look really dumb, because to put all the sensors on that they would need and to give it a realistic gait, it would just cost too much. So that's about it for this video, folks. Hope that answers your questions fully. And congrats to Bailey for giving us that extra trick. Thanks for watching as always, folks, and see you next time.